Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special presentation. To those who have followed me and have seen my characters, already know who these characters are and might learn something new. However, if you're new here and you still don't know who these characters are, then let me introduce you to them. I am your host, the RTG guy, and these are my characters. Before we get started, a quick salutations to the audience. Hello, Atori. Hello, Fallen. How are we all doing? I too am also excited for this. I actually stayed up all night doing the PowerPoint, and I'm excited to finally show it. So, I am doing very good. I am very excited. Funnily enough, I may not have slept well, but I don't feel very sleepy. In fact, this is such an exciting day today for me. So let's get to it. So, just as an overview for these characters, they were created between 2009 and 2023. So quite a long development process for these characters. They're all heroic and they're inspired by various form of media. All of them hold a special place in my heart, especially the two characters on the top. So there are two series to cover. The first is Roy and Sam, and the other is Epic 3. Let's start with Roy and Sam. These are two brothers who have to face off to a bunch of tech criminals. Now, to Roy, he may be a young fella, but he is fairly intelligent. In fact, he made his own company just to make highly advanced weapons. And you may think, oh, he's unleashing evil. Well, technically, you're not wrong. However, he does set safeguards in place. So he's perfectly aware that the weapons may be used for bad. However, he does know what he's doing. And as you can tell, he does have a robotic arm, which has various weapons in him. He's also a heavyweight, and he cares about the safety of other people, including his own brother. Roy definitely likes to communicate science, since that's what he's involved in. He does not appreciate anyone threatening innocent people, and he doesn't like science denial, of course. Since if you deny science, you deny his technology. So, Roy Bonham is the toughest fighter in the city he lives in. He is quite stern and takes his missions very seriously. He tends to have a temper problem, but he is smart enough to not let his emotions impair his fighting skills. Despite his apparent tough exterior, Roy has a soft spot for any innocent lives that get endangered. He is often by his own brother Sam. I forgot to. My apologies. Spelling is Roy shorter than I expected. Well, he's still a fairly tall fella. But anyways, he is often described by his own brother Sam to be overly protective. He cares deeply for his brother, but he also lets him embark in the battlefield, and together they work as a team and defeat any enemy that comes their way. Now, for fun facts, Roy used to be my own avatar. He is the oldest character I've created. This orange color is used to contrast his blue aura. Or at least I think that's what it's called. So once again, Roy and other characters have gone through inspirations from other media. Roy in particular gets inspiration from Iron Man, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Super Mario. Based on how he's dressed, based on the type of weapons, and based on how he skates. So all characters except for one skate. And also the name Bonum is a Latin word for good. Maybe I could have picked a better translation, but I think Bonum works well. But yeah, any questions for Roy? I would love to hear them before we move on to the next character. This stream might be on the short side, but hey, at least you'll get introduced to such a cast of characters. Let me see if the music is... See if I can lower the music. No, I think that's fine. Any questions before we move on to the next character? Does he specialize in a specific science field? Well, he does specialize in technology, which is how this arm was created. In fact, that is how he created his own arm. Since he's so involved in technology, when he lost his arm and had to make a new one with just one arm. And if you wonder why these eyes are so bright blue, these are artificial eyes. So yeah, quite a lot of technology goes into them. Hence his specialized scientific field. How much cyborg is he willing to be? Well, so long as he's willing to be. So long as he still has some human in him, he doesn't mind having much more cyborg in him. In fact, if he has to replace his leg to be able to combat other opponents, he is going to do so. But he's always going to retain some human in him, even if it's little. Any more questions before we move on? Who is his opposition? Anyone in particular? If you're talking about the main villain, they are what's called the Neurotech. Basically a criminal group that wants to rule over the world. Though they have delusions, they still want to go through them. But they are pretty dangerous, since conquering the world comes with its own risks. Which the Neurotech certainly does not care about, and that is endangering other people. Okay, no more questions for now? We may move on to the next character. On to Sam, the younger brother of the two. He also likes science, but he's also a fairly short fella and a lightweight. But you can be sure that he's quite fast. In fact, fast enough to even barely notice him. Maybe he's not Sonic the Hedgehog, but his speed is almost there. Almost. Just not quite. And also, quite a skilled fighter, as he holds a pair of katanas, which not only does he use them like Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which we'll get into, but he also wields them together. So he's similar to his brother, in that he cares for him, he cares for the people around, and he definitely likes to communicate science, albeit not as much as Roy does. And similarly, he does not appreciate anyone threatening the innocent people. Oh yeah, he also hates his math teacher. Sammy Bonham is a cocky sword fighter with speed and attitude. Whereas Roy gets aggressive towards the threat, Sam taunts his opponent before going for the attack. Sam gets into shenanigans with his friend Penny and tend to annoy Roy often. Despite Roy's annoyance towards Penny, he lets Sam be friends with her, just so he stays happy. Sam is highly loyal to Roy and enjoys getting into the battlefield with him. Is there a specific reason he uses swords? Well, he's been skilled in that since since around the beginning of his childhood. So Sam was created a few years after Roy. And also, Sam's original name was going to be Silver, which makes sense considering his silver attire. He does have some gold on him to sort of contrast his outfit. In fact, the gold symbolizes fire, since is Sam also technically advanced? Well, his shoes help him with his speed. But that's about it. Gold is used to represent fire, since that's what emits from the swords. In fact, when you rub metal into the pavement, a lot of orange sparks come out. And he also has orange aura, which doesn't have quite the contrast to the silver, but there is still some contrast. So like Roy, he's also inspired by Super Mario, but he's also inspired by Sonic the Hedgehog and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, hence the swords. So any other questions? These guys feel like they were made to be in a video game. That's what I thought so too. No questions for me? No more questions for me? Okay, we move on. to the next series, and that is Epic 3. These are the newest. These here are the newest characters I've created thus far. So let's start with June. So June Imoto, the leader of the Epic 3. You may not see another gun on her right arm, but she still has a gun. She has a pair of guns. I may change the design of these guns to make them a bit bigger and a little. Well, I'll see what I can do with it. Now she is similar to the Bonham brothers, and that she cares for her sisters. And yes, they are sisters. They're triplets. She cares for innocent lives. And similarly, she communicates science. In fact, she does have an ego, which we'll get into. She also hates the threats to the innocent, and also Kendra's treatment of Naifu, which we'll get into later in this presentation. So, June is the leader of the Epic 3, and as leader, she takes immense pride in leading her sisters in the battlefield. June has the duty to not only protect the people, but protect her sisters as well. She serves as the brain of the Epic 3, although she can have an ego at times. Although she has an ego and tends to show off her intelligence, she does show that she has the intelligence to not just communicate science, which is her favorite thing to talk about, but to lead her sisters as well. I like the shoes being versatile too, and not just for the visual. Yeah, pretty useful. Now, fun facts about June is her name comes from the term Ju, which means gun, which is what she's holding. She is actually based off of Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls. In fact, she's inspired by Powerpuff Girls, but also Super Smash Bros. And Shadow the Hedgehog. Smash Bros. Because of the weapons. Shadow, the shoes, because she can skate. And also, out of the three sisters, June is Yuzu's favorite of them all. So, I would love to hear some more questions before we move on to the next character. Are the Epic 3 affiliated with the Bonham brothers? They are in the same universe. And they do know the Bonham brothers. But they're actually on their own. In fact, the Emoto sisters actually stole Roy's powers. However, Roy accepted them after seeing what they can do, not just skill-wise, but also for the people around. So that's another fact. about uh about the Epic 3. Did they fight against some foes? Huh. Honestly, that is something I'm still working on. Same? Is June your favorite? I was thinking a more Kim Possible inspired villainess, which is skilled enough to fight against the three sisters. Let me know if you have questions. No more questions? So we move on to the next character. On to Naifu. All good for me? Okay, so on to Naifu. Of the three, it's hard to pick a favorite for me. Well, we'll see. We'll go. We'll go through the three sisters. But anyways, Naifu. She she's the same age, same height, same weight as June. In fact, all three will share this information, except for the types of weapons, which she wields right now. A pair of katanas, just like Sammy. But unlike Sammy, who actually runs, Naifu skates. Who would have thought? Yeah. Yeah, she also cares for her sisters, the innocent people around. She also likes plushies. And similarly, she doesn't appreciate those who threat the innocent people. But she especially despises Kendra's teasing. We'll also go back to. So Naifu serves as the heart of the Epic 3, hence she is a sweetheart. However, don't let that sweetheart exterior fool you. Naifu does show her enemies who they are messing with. If you hurt an old lady, she will come after you. If you hurt an animal, she will come after you. If you steal one of her plushies, she will come after you. Naifu will stay a sweetheart until you get on her bad side. She will hunt you down when you least expect. So fun facts about Naifu, the name actually comes from the word naifu in Japanese, which means knife. So I go through a bunch of translations, and Naifu was the best one I settled on. And if you couldn't tell, she is inspired. She is based off of Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls. That's also one of her inspirations, Smash Bros. And Shadow the Hedgehog. And another fun fact is that Naifu was featured in a Magical Miriri Fan Art Friday stream. If you remember the background I sent to Miriri, in fact, the artwork which was taken as fan art, which, sure, I'll consider it fan art. She is the girl who was in that picture, who was in that artwork. Yes, Mariri. So, some questions before we move on to our last character. No questions? Nope, all good. Okay. So, final character, Epic Kendra. So similar to her sisters, except she has a pair of spiked knuckles. Same stats as them. She looks after her sisters. She cares about the safety of the innocent people. And she also likes to make bullies cry. Mariri, you are just in time. I heard my name? Yes. Yes, in fact, this is the same girl that was in one of the fan arts. Welcome in, Mariri. Remember the background I sent you? Yeah. That's her. Looks like a cool stream. I appreciate it. Anyways, on to Kendra. She also despises the threat towards innocent people. Any threats towards her, and also June's leadership. Kendra is the toughest fighter of the Epic 3, serving as the muscle of the team. She may care deeply for her sisters and the people, but she often teases Naifu and goes after her quite a lot. Kendra is also not very fond of June's leadership, often wishing she could just do everything by herself, and even mumbles behind June's back. Naifu may show you who you're messing with, but Kendra tends to show her temper more to your face, and she is quite easy to take off because of her temper. So the name Kendra comes from the Japanese word ken, which means fist. Like her design a lot. It's a cool design. All sisters share this design, albeit with a different color scheme. Now, Kendra is based off of Buttercup from the Powerpuff Girls. That's also her inspiration. Shadow the Hedgehog and Smash Bros. Because the skates, and the fists, the type of weapon she uses. And final fun fact, the name Imoto comes from the Japanese word imoto, which means sister. And that concludes our cast of characters. Any more questions before we wrap it up? Well, we're gonna have small talk after. But any questions before we conclude this presentation? Is Naifu a different or Taipu for Naifu? Said previously on the other slide. Naifu makes but Kendra tends to like here? Naifu may show you who you're messing with, but Kendra tends to show her temper more to your face. Like that part? Could be a typo, could be... Because I've been trying to say that while Naifu... Yes, you mentioned Naifu twice. Does Kendra have any protection to be safe during battles, or does she just avoid getting hit? She tends to avoid getting hit. Sometimes she tends to be the shield of the three. And when I say she's a shield, I mean she counterattacks. Oh, I mentioned Naifu twice. Okay, so... But she often teases Naifu and goes after her quite a lot. Like, are those the typos? Because I mentioned how... Also, I wanted to ask, will Penny be introduced more and developed more? As seen of one of the brothers in the slice, their friend. She is still in development, so that will have to wait. I still haven't come up with her design yet, although I have a pretty good idea of how she's gonna look like. So at some point, Penny will be introduced. I'm just not sure when. When will we get an RTG cinematic universe? Ooh, maybe. Maybe they will be introduced in Avengers Doomsday. Whoa. Yeah, I do have plans for a Well, for a cinematic universe. No more questions for me. Questions from anyone else? Hang on. Phone call. Sorry about that. So, no more questions. I guess that concludes our presentation. I'm glad I was able to show off my characters. You know, this is pretty cool. I struggle to make such solid OCs personally. Well, I think you can start with I I think your avatar is a start. It was really cool learning about your OCs. Appreciate you being here with me. Anyways, I'm pretty sure doing your avatar is a start, the same way I did. Which maybe an OC. But then again, I guess whatever comes to mind, whatever you have in your head, you can try and sketch up. Thank you for letting us know more about all these guys. Yeah, thanks for coming here to this presentation. Like, man, Roy in particular is the longest character I've developed over the years. and to finally establish them to the public is brings me. I don't know how to speak. Yeah, so I'm glad I was finally able to show off my characters better. In fact, I would love to do more of them. And I definitely will think about how I introduce Penny. Because she does play a big role in Sam's life. It was awesome, and I loved how you made the slides work. Yeah, thank you, thank you. I would love to see more of them. Oh, they will come more. There will be more. Don't worry. In fact, I may have to sketch more of these characters, and then do a digital trace. So you'll see more of them, but I do have more things planned out. So just you wait. They will come soon. I might have to add one or two of them to my project list. Hope you don't mind. Sure, go ahead. I would actually love to see your project. Hey, Marie friend. How's it going? I just did a presentation for my OCs. Doing good. Ooh. I don't think I have anything else to say. Do we have anything else we can talk about? Now that I mentioned it, probably should get back to drawing, or else this list will never get done. Do so at your own pace, Fallen. I'm making OC. I take name suggestions. Hmm. Perhaps if you take a word that represents your OC from another language, because that worked for me. What do you guys think? I'm thinking. I am thinking. Perhaps. What about Krista? I don't know. Good afternoon, RTG. Good afternoon, Nolan. Oh, I think it's actually morning for me. But hi, hello. Man, there's a variety of people coming into to the stream. Okay, so I might end the stream here, but I will say that to those who attended the presentation, thank you so much. Yes, salute for the giraffe. To those who tuned into the presentation, I appreciate you so much. And to those who came in late, don't worry, the VOD will be up. If you care to rewatch it. And after the stream ends, down in the comment section on YouTube, tell me which one's your favorite of the OCs. Or you can tell me in chat. Or if you're an artist, you can do fan art. Well, if you want to, but you can draw your favorite. It was fun for the little time I was here. Have a good day, my friend. It's you, Nolan. Well, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, even if it was for a little time. I will see you guys in the next stream. I will come up with a schedule, and I will see you in the next stream. Roy might be my favorite design. Yeah, I love Roy's design. In fact, Roy has a special place in my heart. But anywho, I'll see you guys in the next stream once the schedule is posted. Take care, everyone, and that's all, folks.